It was extremely well attended in the Royal Courts of Justice. Over 90 people turned up. The 3 appellant judges stopped the actual case and said, we need to open up a second court to get all these people in because justice needs to be seen to be done. And they was very accommodating. We was all lovely and polite. They absolutely loved our group because we've got people with disabilities, we've got retirees, all different colours of people, which I always love, because when they sit there and start saying you're English, you're racist, I said, so why have we got black and brown people that are our members if we are racist? That is complete and utter rubbish. So the background to the case is I stood in an election. I've stood in a number of elections in England, and what we actually done was we caught them cheating at the count. And because under English law, and it goes back centuries, there's something called the Court of Common Plea, and part of the Court of Common Plea was brought into the King's Bench division, but they've still got this process called an election petition, and that means a single candidate, a single elector, if it's to do with Parliament, can bring a case, go straight into the High Court. There's a special court called an election petition court, and they listen to the case, and then 2 judges travel to wherever it is in the country. This is why it goes back to ancient rights. That doesn't happen anymore unless it's an election petition. So 2 judges, High Court judges, pick up their suitcases with all their paperwork, go to that area, create a court, and say, now provide your evidence. So basically they try to get the case thrown out. We was not only successful in the first court hearing, legal arguments for a day and a half against 2 King's Counsels, which means at a higher level they've taken silk, and probably about another 4 barristers and then an army of solicitors, and then there was me. I won all of the legal arguments, including the fact that the judges stated in a cost order, believe it or not, that and this was against the Royal Mail as well, who's part of it, the judges actually stated they was grossly disproportionate costs from the Royal Mail and reduced their costs from £80,000 to £12,500, and almost, not quite, but almost accused them of fraud. Right? So, and this was all in an order, by the way. I was reading it thinking, wow, I can't believe that they're coming out this strong. And they basically said the trial goes ahead. Now, what happened then, it should take a year, 18 months for an appeal, but they managed to get an appeal inside a week, right? And then I'm up in front of 3 appellant judges of the Royal Courts of Justice, again presenting our case for the people. The other side's King's Counsel managed to aggravate the judges so much that one of the judges actually started shouting at him. So there's an old saying, it either comes from Napoleon or Sun Tzu, and that is, when the enemy is destroying itself, don't get involved. Just let them carry on destroying their case. So for 2 hours, he went round and round in circles, aggravated all 3 judges, I must say, right? The judges then gave us 2, this was a few days before, gave us 2 cases to look at, which I studied. And out of all the so-called legal professionals in that court that day, I was the only one to mention them, the only one to thank the judges for putting those cases to us and suggesting they should be part of the bundle. And I read through it, and basically they listened to my arguments. I only stood up for 20 minutes, and everyone, because I can't see myself or understand what's going on in the background with all the people watching, but everyone said to me, trust me, they was absolutely glued to every word you said, right? So I kept it short, kept it about our history, kept it about the actual law, and they just thanked me for being succinct. And then they said, we're going to hand down the judgment. We don't know how long it's going to take, but we're aware of the trial, which is a week on Monday in Chester. That's a 3-day trial where I am technically prosecuting the returning officer and Sarah Pouchin MP for Reform UK. And notice, everyone watching this, she's never ever mentioned it. She's one of the ones trying to stop it getting to trial on technicalities, and the High Court was saying, this is going ahead, right? So we're still waiting for their judgment. But they have contacted me the other side today and said that we are preparing a bundle for trial. Meaning, obviously, they're taking it seriously. It won't look very good for them if they haven't prepared for trial. It looks as if they took it for granted it was going to get thrown out. But it hasn't been thrown out. The arguments was put there. And again, just to make sure people are aware of this, I don't do it for money. So all my knowledge of law and the cases is for everyone. The English Constitution protects everyone. Don't matter what colour you are. Technically, doesn't matter what religion you are. As long as, the English Bill of Rights forbids Sharia, for example, but it also forbids, you can't have Christian laws either. So in other